scores as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X. We've got 3 games on the slate today, and I am so thankful that yesterday that we stuck with the trend of taking Ovi for the goal and 2+ goals. So we had taken it the night before. He was unable to do so. The Washington Capitals absolutely exploded last night. We got Ovi for 2+ goals at plus 1,100. So hopefully some of you guys were able to tail on that. We had some good games out there on the ice, and I do think we're in for some good games today. Now, there are some big favorites here out there on the slate, and there is some dogs we're going to look at. There's only 3 games, so there's one dog that I'm really liking. There's one dog that there is no way I can touch with the 10-foot pole. So let's jump into this, you guys. Firstly, let's look at the game between the San Jose Sharks and the New Jersey Devils. This is the one where I do think you've got a dog barking in the San Jose Sharks. They come into this game rested, and we do see the New Jersey Devils with Jake Allen expected in goal. And yes, he's a backup goaltender with solid numbers. So it's not that I'm that concerned, but we do see the Devils on the second night of a back-to-back. And if you're watching the football game overseas, Daniel Jones just did run one in with his legs for a touchdown as the Giants try to bring that game closer. So something I'm keeping my eye on while we're talking some hockey there, you guys. But let's get back to this game. $3 favorite, almost $3.50 favorite here for the New Jersey Devils at minus 350 on the money line. We do have a total of 6.5. Now, I think this one can be push to the over if the San Jose Sharks do what I expect out of them in this game. We know the New Jersey Devils can score, and they can score at a high pace, but I think the Sharks in this one should be able to get some goals on Jake Allen with their rest advantage in this game, and with the defense maybe giving up a couple more. Now, the Devils are definitely the stronger team, but I do think this could be the upset of the day. I think this game has every opportunity to go to overtime. The overtime coming in at plus 450. So give me the Sharks plus the 1.5 on the puck line. That puck line number is coming in plus 1.5 at plus 112. Let's go Sharks. Sam, welcome. And yes, Patrick, we also have to look at Celebrini. Celebrini has been so strong. So the last time the Sharks played was on Thursday versus the Wild. And yes, it was a terrible game. This team actually built some confidence out there in that homestance. 5-game homestance, going 3-2. That last game just was disastrous versus the Wild. Losing that one, I believe it was 5-2 win for the Minnesota Wild. Celebrini scored those 2 goals, the only 2 goals of the game, his first time in his NHL career, being able to get those 2 goals on the board. So that's what we love to see. And then let's look at the revenge angle. Tyler Toffoli versus a former team. Tyler Toffoli played for the New Jersey Devils last season and was traded away by this team. Tyler Toffoli for the anytime goal coming in at plus 240. So Toffoli for goal plus 240, Celebrini for goal at plus 280. You can also look at them for their points tonight in this game, maybe parlaying both of those points together. 1+ points for both of these guys, and looking at some plus money there. Overtime at plus 450, like I said, the Sharks plus 1.5 at plus 112 with a sprinkle on that money line, plus 275 money line. I do think it should be a good one here. Yeah, Fox could not score. And yes, my favorite bet of the day, I did think we would see the Vancouver Canucks get the win. Now, if you watch that game, Edmonton exploded in the third quarter or third period. Man, I keep going back from quarters to periods. It's some days confusing for my brain to talk. The third period, the Edmonton Oilers exploded 4 goals in that third period to be able to get the win, and not what we needed out there out of Vancouver in the revenge angle. They started off that game so phenomenally strong. They looked like they had it in the bag, you guys, but Edmonton did what Edmonton does, and they laid it down in the third and got the win. So I tripled up on that game. It did hurt, but thank God we had Ovechkin to cover us there. So it's the Sharks, second night of a back-to-back. I just don't love the scheduling spot. And then we look at the further scheduling spot here for the New Jersey Devils, you guys, and it's not pretty. So I think this is a look past. They've won their last 3. They're coming off an overtime win last night versus the Islanders. It was a 4-3 win. So they played in overtime. They're now playing this game here on that second night of a back-to-back, but it's who they have in front of them that also is concerning. They have 2 games versus the Florida Panthers on the road. They play them on Tuesday and on Thursday on the road. And then they're at Tampa on a Saturday, and then they're at the Carolina Hurricanes the next Thursday, or Carolina's there. Either way, they have Florida for 2, Tampa for 1, Carolina for 1. That is a hard 4 games ahead of them, especially with both of those games being in Florida versus the Panthers and not at home. So I don't love this. I think they will look past the San Jose Sharks. Let's look at the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, the Blackhawks are not a dog I can get behind. The last time they beat the Minnesota Wild was back in 2019. They're plus 164 underdogs, and can they break that trend of losing in and out every single game versus the Wild? Well, this Wild team is rolling hot. $2 favorite in this one, total of 5.5, minus 134 to the over. Before I bet the Chicago Blackhawks, if you think they can have success in this game, hitting Gustafsson, I would look at this game to go over the 5.5 at minus 134. Your problem here is Chicago isn't a team that instills a lot of confidence in being able to get those high danger shots, and they will struggle to hit Gustafsson. Now, I do think there's a couple of players that you can look at for their points, for their goals tonight, because I still do think they get, 1 or 2 goals in this matchup here versus the Wild. The Wild have beat them. What is it? It's the last 12 meetings. They've won the last 12 meetings. So, again, Chicago hasn't won since 2019. Kaprizov has been lights out to start the season. For the Wild, he has 9 goals and 18 assists, total of 27 points. So I would look at him. They're sitting second in the Central. This is an easy road trip the Wild have been on. They are coming off the win on Friday versus the Ducks. They won the game prior versus the Sharks. So it was Sharks, Ducks, and then the Blackhawks here at last game on the road. And then they've got an easy one on the road or at home for their next one versus Montreal. That could be their look ahead because they have the Stars on deck on Saturday. So Montreal, once they return home, could be a tough scheduling spot for them. But in this one, I'm going to look for the Wild to come out of the first period and dominate the first period. Give me the Wild on the puck line in the first period, laying a half a goal, plus 144. When we look at the Chicago Blackhawks, Peter Mrazek getting the start here. This team has a solid kill, 77.8%. It's actually better here than the Minnesota Wild at 72.7%. I do think with their power plays they're dead even, 22.2% of the power plays both of these teams are able to win. I would look here if you're liking Chicago for those points today, those power play points, because we could see them convert, but I don't think they win. So Connor Bedard for the power play points, plus 260 tonight. For the anytime goal, plus 195. So with the weak kill here of the Wild, if they do score, I do think the Blackhawks could score on the power play. Tyler Bertuzzi, you can look at just for the point tonight. You're getting value at plus 128. He is on the top power play unit and the second line. So he has value. Looking at Seth Jones, though, top power play unit as well, alongside Bertuzzi and Connor Bedard. He's a defensive player, you guys. He's on that top defensive pairing. He has been able to get those shots on goal in these games. I feel like he's just like this close to finding the back of the net, lighting the lamp. With him on that top power play unit, you can take him for the power play point tonight. That is coming in with great plus money. I think I'm going to sprinkle for a long shot anytime goal. That's coming in at plus 750. You could take him for 3+ shots on goal, coming in at plus 106. We know one thing about the Minnesota Wild. They do allow those defensive players to get those shots from the blue line instead, and then they lock down the forwards. So you can look at Seth Jones for his shots on goal. The safest way at 3+ shots on goal at plus 106. I would also sprinkle on the anytime goal. He feels like he's just one shot away from being able to hit that. Okay, last but not least, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets on the second night of a back-to-back, taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Now, this is a late game, 8:10 Eastern tonight, you guys. We do see the Ducks as a favorite. The Ducks can't say that very much, that they're listed as a favorite at minus 122. plus 100 here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And we know this is a stronger team. We know the Anaheim Ducks have had those struggles to score. Troy Terry leading this team in goals, and it's not a heck of a lot of goals that I believe it's 5. We look here at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Monahan has been straight fire out there for them. This forward unit can score those goals, but they are on the second night of a back-to-back. These two teams are both on losing streaks. Both have lost their last 4, so someone is going to break the losing streak at least. Do I want to grab the Columbus Blue Jackets? I do, but can I? I can't. You look at the history between these two, and Columbus did win the last meeting, but the Ducks won the 5 prior. This is a team that the Anaheim Ducks can beat. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in these matchups. But one thing we've seen in these matchups, we have higher scoring games. I'm looking for this to be a higher scoring game. Tarasov in net for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I just don't trust him, and I don't trust his defense. On the second night of a back-to-back, he's struggled with a 4.02 goals against average and an 860 save percentage. So I do think we're going to see Tarasov struggle in between the pipes tonight. Dostal, on the other hand, has been the stronger goalie of the two. He's got a 2.73 goals against average, a 922 save percentage. He has held teams in these games. So I want to take Columbus. I won't take Columbus. It makes sense to take Columbus per paper. Per everything else, I have to not take them here. I'll take the Ducks team total over 3.5 at plus 120. I expect them to get 4 goals. If Columbus comes out and gets 5 goals, congratulations. Columbus wins, and we still win our bet of the Ducks team total over 3.5. It's a fade of Tarasov. It's a fade of this defense on the second night of a back-to-back. Now, I do think that first period can be high scoring with both of these teams so eager to break that losing streak. Over 1.5 goals in the first period. It's juicy at minus 138. But I do think we can see both teams scoring in the first period. That's coming in at plus 154. Now, who do I think is going to score? Like I said, Troy Terry really leading this team. 5 goals and 10 points here for the anytime, for the season. McTavish is coming in top in assists, so he's been getting those assists. I still like Leo Carlsson. We were able to get him for his first goal a couple weeks ago. I'm going to look at Leo Carlsson for the anytime goal at plus 260. And then I got to look at Monahan for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Monahan coming in at plus 220 for the goal tonight. So I like those bets, you guys. I think it's going to be a good night. We're going to quickly recap this. And then we're going to get on with the day. Enjoy your Sunday football. The Madden Quickie will be posted shortly over on SportsGrid. And same game parlay as well. I got a same gamer in the matchup between Tennessee Titans and the LA Chargers. And then you guys, like always, I am on the grid all afternoon, 4:20 Eastern to 8 p.m. We'll be live betting everything happening in football this afternoon, looking ahead to Sunday night football and doing a couple of recap segments on what happened in these earlier games. But my Cup of Joe will be dropping shortly as well. So check it out on Jo Madden Sports on X. Recap time, you guys. Thank you everyone here for watching. If you hit that like button, hit that retweet button, you would do me a huge solid here. So the San Jose Sharks versus New Jersey Devils, upset alert of the day. I do think the Sharks can get it done. Give me the Sharks on the money line and the Sharks plus 1.5 on the puck line at plus 110. I'm looking for overtime in this one at plus 450. Give me Celebrini for a goal at plus 280 and Tyler Toffoli versus his former team, Revenge Angle, at plus 240 for the anytime goal. The Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks, I trust the Wild to get up in the first period in this game. Give me the Wild on the puck line, laying a half a goal. That's coming in at plus 144. I do think power play points here for Kaprizov at plus 120, Matt Boldy at plus 210 for the power play point is where I will go with the Minnesota Wild. If I'm looking here at Chicago, I do think Chicago can get those power play points as well. We have a weaker kill here for the Wild. Connor Bedard for the anytime goal at plus 195. His power play point at plus 260. I like it. Tyler Bertuzzi for just the overall point at plus 128. Again, top power play line and second line. And then Seth Jones. I'm going to look at Seth Jones for 3+ shots on goal. I'm also going to take Seth Jones for a long shot for the anytime goal at plus 750. You can just look at Seth Jones if your book offers it for the power play point. Again, he's on the top defensive line and on the top power play unit. Seth Jones, with how the Wild allow defensive players to take those shots from the blue line, I do think is a solid play on, especially for his shots on goal tonight. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Anaheim Ducks, I want to take the Columbus Blue Jackets. I just can't get there. I do think this could be a 5-4 win for them, but either way, win or lose, I do think the Anaheim Ducks come out and get 4 goals. This is a team we know that is terrified at lighting the lamp, it seems, because they never can do it. So I think they light the lamp tonight because of Tarasov in net for the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Blue Jackets on the second night of a back-to-back. You made the Ducks team total over 3.5 at plus 120. But I do think that first period starts off hot, over 1.5 goals in the first period at minus 138. Both teams to score in the first period at plus 154. One of these teams has to win this game. Could this one go to overtime? It absolutely could. I'm going to look at Monahan to come in here at plus 220 for the goal, and Leo Carlson plus 260 for an anytime goal for the Ducks. You could look at Troy Terry as well. You guys, all the best in all your bets. Thank you so much for joining me over here on SportsGrid TV for Pocket with Joe. There's like over 800 people watching right now. So hit that like, hit that retweet button. Again, we go live every single day here on SportsGrid TV at noon Eastern. So keep the show going, you guys. All you have to do is like and retweet and comment below. Let me know where you're watching from first. I love to hear that. Also, let me know what you're liking today, who you think is barking out there on the ice. And if you've got a nice parlay for us, you guys, you know we want to hear it. We'll talk to you soon.